This video will show you how to fix a common problem that people have when they first use a 1Touch XL. They have the lock on the door, it's reading fingerprints, it's making all the right sounds, but it's not unlocking the door. Generally the reason for that is there's a mortise lock that gets inserted into the door in the cylinder area where a peg, which I'll demonstrate in a little bit, actually does the turning and retracting of the deadbolt. That needs to be aligned properly, and a lot of times that can get misaligned during installation and thus causing the lock to appear as if it's not working properly. So your 1Touch XL should look something like what you see here in this picture. Unfortunately, the only way to fix this problem is you will need to take the lock completely off the door. I've already taken the bolts out. So this is the front half of the lock. Essentially, you take this off, and as you see, this is the peg I was talking about. This fits into this slot here. It's a silvery circle with a square hole in the middle. You probably can't see it, but there's a little dimple here that needs to be at the 12 o'clock position. Essentially what happens is this will turn and it retracts the deadbolt. But if this dimple is not at the 12 o'clock position, there's a pin that drops down for 5 to 7 seconds, which allows you the tension and the torque to be able to retract the deadbolt. If that's slightly, even like an 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch off, for instance, if you got it installed and it's just like that, that pin can't go into the hole and it can't retract the deadbolt. And I will show you what that means in the next video. Once the front and back lock bodies have been removed, you can take the mortise out of your door. It should essentially slide out like this. You will need to take the keyway that fits here out. It fits right here where my finger is. So essentially what you're looking for is this dimple here. As you can see, it needs to be at 12 o'clock. In a lot of cases when people are playing around with it, see it, when it comes fresh out of the box, it rotates evenly. That's how it works. So what you want is make sure that's at the 12 o'clock, and there's a pin, which I'll show a close-up, probably in a picture. I'll see if I can get a video of it, of how it actually works. But the pin drops through here and puts it in lock position. So I will demonstrate that next. Once the lock is off your door, for troubleshooting, I always recommend that you lay the lock on a table or a desk, kind of like you see here. I have the mortise here in the middle, at the front and the back. I have the cables connected so the lock will function, and what I will demonstrate is what the lock does when it actually is unlocking using a fingerprint. What you'll see is in here, the little cylinder, there'll be a pin drop. I'm not sure if you'll see it in this video, but I'll do a close-up later. But ultimately, you slide the cover up, pin drops in, and it retracts out in about 5 to 7 seconds. While that pin is in that hole, it again grants you the ability to have the leverage to retract the deadbolt and open the door. Once it is open, it'll automatically lock itself once it shuts. Now I'll give you a close-up of what that hole in that pin looks like. See, this is the hole that I'm talking about. The pegs go through here, and as you can see right there, there's the hole. It coincides with that dimple. That pin head is inside there. It pops out when you present a fingerprint. I'll see if I can demonstrate it here for you. See, it popped out. Now you'll be able to lock. Now I'll demonstrate the difference. This is the peg that would go into your door, that this end would go into your door handle. This is lock mode. That means you can turn the handle and it will not retract the deadbolt. Now I'll demonstrate what happens when the pin is in place. See, it gives it torque, enough torque I can't do with my hand, and then it goes back in lock position. So things to check is to make sure that there's power going to the mortise, and you can do that by having it on the desk like I'm demonstrating here, and enrolling a finger or using a fingerprint, or might be easier also to put in a passcode. I always recommend putting in an access code. You get 3 of them. Always put those in case fingerprints, something happens to them, you get a paper cut or something like that. You can still access your door with a passcode. Now you hear that? Once the slide cover goes up and you hear that, that means that power is going to the mortise. That's the first thing to check. If you don't hear that, then there might be something wrong with the mortise and it's not getting power. You want to make sure that this cable is connected here, the little alligator clip. Both of them face to the left. This is the ribbon cable, this is the power cable. Make sure those are inserted properly. And then just check that dimple. But it should be a 5-minute fix. You take the door off, you take the lock off the door, you make sure that dimple is correct to be safe. If you have somebody there that can help you or you have the time, make sure that you see the pin dropping into that hole. At this stage too, I'd also recommend enrolling, if you haven't done so already, enroll fingerprints, or what you could do is follow the instruction to initialize your lock, wiping it completely clean, which will put it in always open mode, and then enroll fingerprints into the system. Then test your fingerprints while it's on the table, and when it's reading your fingerprints, you see the head of the pin drop to that hole, then now you know it's safe to put on your door and that it should be working properly. But 99% of these issues, it's because during the installation process got moved. So hopefully this video will help, and good luck. And if you need any additional help, you can contact us at www.fingerprintdoorlocks.com. We have a chat window that you can reach one of our representatives between 10 a.m. and 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. And you can also give us a call. The number's on the website. So hopefully this will work out for you. Thank you very much.